Welcome to Bedtime Stories. The Blind Trust. Once upon a time there lived a crane by the side of a pond. He used to catch the fish from the same pond. He always had a full meal, but with the growing age he got older and weaker. He became so weak that he could not arrange for his food. The condition was that the fish swam around him, but he could not catch them due to his weakness. He was now getting lazy and going crazy about his health. So one day, as he was extremely hungry, since he hadn't eaten anything for the past many days, so to satisfy his hunger, without much toil, trouble and efforts, he devised a plan. In order to start off with his plan, he went to the side of a pond with a gloomy face without any intention or attempting to catch a fish. The fish and frogs thought why he was not trying to catch any food. One big crab, on seeing the sad crane, asked him what the matter was. This big crab, who was wise and clever, often helped the fish, frogs and other creatures in the pond. On seeing the gloomy crane, the crab asked him once again, what was the matter? The crane said, "Alas, I am worried that the pond is soon going to be devoid of any fish, which are in turn my source of food. I have heard that some people are going to fill out the pond with the tank of mud and grow crops over it. I have also overheard a group of fishermen talking about catching all the fish from this pond before they fill up the pond with mud." All the creatures of the pond got worried after hearing the crane. Soon he gained every creature's blind trust. He said, "I know of a pond somewhat far away, where all the creatures will be safe. If the creatures are interested, I can carry a few each day to the other pond where they will be safe." The crane also confirmed that he required rest between trips due to his age. Also, he would be able to carry a few fish at a time. The blindly trusted creatures were ready to go with the crane on his condition. All the fish were eager to make use of the crane to reach a safer pond. Every day some of them volunteered to go with the crane. In the very first trip, the crane took some fish in his beak, but instead of taking them to another pond, he took them to a nearby hill and ate them. After taking rest for some time, again when he felt hungry, he took the second trip. Each day the crane took some fish in his beak. On reaching a large rock, he would eat the fish and leave the bones at the rock. In this manner, the crane was getting a continuous supply of fish without any effort at all. Within a few days, he regained his health and became fleshy. The big crab also wanted to be saved. One day, the crab requested the crane to take him to the other pond. On observing the crane regaining his health and strength, the big crab became curious and asked crane that he would take the next trip to the new pond. The crane thought it was a nice idea to try different food. He agreed to take the crab on the next trip. On the next trip, the crab happily went with the crane. During the trip, when some time had passed, the crab asked, "How far is the pond now?" The crane found that the crab was quite an innocent creature and would never know about his evil plans. So, he said angrily, "You fool, do you think I am your servant? There is no other pond around here. I made this plan in order to be able to eat you all. Now you two be prepared to die." When they got closer to the rock, the crab realized what the crane had been doing. The crab understood the foul play of the crane. He said to the crane, "You had misused our blind trust in you." Without losing his senses, he quickly tightened his sharp claws around the neck of the crane. The crab snapped off the head of crane. This way, finally the crane died a selfish death. The crab somehow dragged himself back to the pond and narrated the whole incident to all the blindly trusted creatures of the pond. Every one of them thanked the crab for his effort, and giving the crane a selfish death for his foul play. The crab made them learn a lesson on not to have blind trust on anyone, and they lived happily thereafter in that same pond. The moral of the story is, not to trust anyone blindly, and, when things are not in your favor, use your intellect to overcome the situation. If you like the story, please do like, share and subscribe. Thank you for listening. Good night.